without going into too much trouble. So, I'm talking about the cupcakes a little bit later on, but first of all we're going to concentrate on the decoration. So, to make our cupcakes super glamorous and fabulous, I'm going to use those little silicone molds. I don't know if you've seen those. If you've been walking around the show, you must have seen those. And you probably wonder, what are you supposed to do with those? Well, I'm going to show you. The good thing about those is, first of all, they don't cost that much. They keep forever. You know, if you look after them nicely, you know, there is no issue about keeping them for a long time. I put mine in a dishwasher, so that, you know, they're really clean when they need to be, when they're going to be grubby. And they come in a huge selection of theme and shapes. So it's actually quite addictive. You know? So it's definitely worth looking for different websites or different shops, because you know, some stock, you know, kind of classic design like little angel and teddy bears, and some people will do a bit more trendy design. So definitely worth looking around at different brands and different shops. So we're going to use those with some icing. Have we got some proper cake decorators here? Some proper people? No? Serious? No? No? Amateurs? Yes? There's one there? Yeah. Right. We're going to use some icing. I know that icing I got here, the big slab of icing I got here, looked like the regular icing, easy roll icing you buy from the supermarket to decorate your wedding cakes or birthday cakes or Christmas cakes. But actually it's very different. This one is called petal paste, and that's what professional cake decorators use to make sugar flowers. The main difference between this stuff and the regular stuff from the supermarket is this one will dry rock hard almost instantly. I mean, as you work with it, it will start crusting, and if you leave it for 24 hours to dry out in the kitchen, it will become really solid. It will become like rock solid, which is perfect because we want our little figurine to stand up nice and proud on top of our cupcakes or on top of the cakes you're going to create with it. So just remember, again, there's enough stand here, we're selling it, or go online, cake decorating shops or website. Just remember, sugar flowers, I need to make some petal paste. The American call them gum paste, but it doesn't sound very edible really. It's food, you know. I make some cakes with some gum paste, you know. So I prefer petal paste, a bit cuter. So when you buy those mold, which I'm sure you will do later on, they will come usually in a little sachet or a little bag saying they are non-stick. As most non-stick things, don't trust it. I never trust a non-stick pan. I always grease it and I always line it. My frying pan at home, when I do my fried eggs on a Sunday morning, I always put a bit of oil as well. You know, it's the same with this one. If you put your icing straight in, it's not going to come out in one piece. So you need to put something inside. And I know if you use some icing in the past, your first thought would be to use icing sugar. But actually, it's the worst thing you can do. Because if you use icing sugar, you're just adding more sugar to something which is mainly sugar. So you're going to dry it out, and that's why your icing is not really smooth, and you get this little crack as well. And that doesn't just work for the petal paste, but it works as well for your regular easy roll icing to cover your Christmas cake. So instead of dusting your table with some icing sugar, put some corn flour and roll it, and you will notice a huge difference. Your icing will be smooth as baby's bottom. Well, apparently. So let me show you how quick it is to make those. So a bit of corn flour in a sieve, and just give it a slight gust inside the mold. Don't put too much as well. If you put too much, you know, you're going to fill all this little gap, and you're not going to be able to, you're not going to see them, you're going to fill them with too much corn flour. So just a little bit. Let's take that, ready, go. And the next part is probably the trickiest part of all. Is in an ideal world, you want to take your icing and to judge just to add enough to fill the mold without having to trim it. If you've never done it, you will all put too much inside. I know it's great work. We do classes on a regular basis, hand-on classes, and people always put far too much inside. So my word of advice will be, take what you think should go in, cut it in half, and you will be almost there. It will still be too much, but you will be almost there. So just take the icing and basically push it into the mold with your finger. if like me, I know it's a bit weird for a pastry chef, you've got hot hands, the icing will start sticking a little bit to your fingers. So just put a little bit of corn flour that's happened on your fingertip and that will stop the icing sticking to your fingertip. Wash that, sorry. So as you can see, I don't know, it's not very clear on the camera, as you can see, I haven't done a great job with the icing. I got far too much, so I am going to have to trim it. So using a sharp knife and using the mold as a guide, I'm going to gently slice off the excess of icing. Don't try to slice it off with like you're cutting an apple or a slice of carrot, because if you go like that in one go, you're going to lift everything off. So you really need to make that slow movement with your knife at a slight angle of slicing off the icing. The leftovers can be kneaded back in the rest of the icing. At this stage, definitely worth giving it another little push around just to make sure nothing has moved. Oh, sticking to our fingers. And we are ready to turn it over on a piece of paper. And it does come out as easy as this. And I know being white and on a white piece of paper, it's not very obvious, but that's supposed to be a pair of lips. Not very kissable. I'm going to change that very quickly. So I got a dry brush here, a nice large dry brush. I'm going to brush away the excess of corn flour, because if you paint straight away on it with food coloring, it's going to go all gloopy and horrible. Not the kind of lips you want to see. So, brushing it away, and we are ready for the makeup lesson. I'm sure you would have never thought you would have come to see me and learn how to put your lipstick on properly. So, I got a brush here with a bit of water. I'm using food coloring paste. Much better than using the liquid ones. Not just for painting, but as well for baking. You know all this very fashionable rainbow cake you see at the moment, with all the multicolored design. Well, when you try to bake first, try to swap your liquid